Most roads have a destination, but some take you somewhere else. Somewhere weirder, creepier, and darker. Today, we're exploring 3 of these detours. A thread where one anon explains that his sheep keep dying under mysterious circumstances. Another where an OP spies on people with a drone and posts about it. And finally, the broken memories of a childhood that is linked to something sinister. Our first stop takes us into quiet farmland in Denmark, where something strange happened. A man's sheep keep dying. No signs of struggle, no predators, just cold, silent bodies, with the skin around their mouths torn off. On January 27th, 2021, an anon makes a post titled Mystery Sheep Killer, with a story about what is happening. Alright detectives, I'm gonna need an explanation real fucking quick, because I'm starting to get a little bit worried. Part 1 and 2. Be me. Live in rural Denmark on farmland entire life. Own animals, most of them being sheep. Feels comfy man.exe. One night, hear an absolutely blood-curdling scream about 5 a.m. Words can't even fucking describe it. .mp3. Hear 2 of these. Feel a little bit uneasy, but whatever. Since I live out in the country and next to small forest, I'm used to hearing some ungodly dying screams of animals, so I didn't think too much of it. But shit was still exceptionally uneasy to listen to. Next morning, spot something out of the ordinary. Day after this, have electronic classes. Spot my dad dragging a sheep carcass through our back garden, presumably to the place where we bury animals that die unexpectedly. Okay I guess, .wav. After classes, ask my dad what the fuck happened. My dad says that he has never seen anything like it. He said that the left half of the thing's face is just gone, cleanly picked to the bone. My face went. I go out to check to inspect the corpse. He's right. Not only did the thing cleanly eat only half of his face, cleanly to the bone, but it also devoured its tongue and its left ear. What the fuck is this shit.exe? Pig is the pig I took of the sheep. I inspect the corpse closer in order to look at the death blow that killed my dear boy. There's fucking none. Whatever killed my dear sheep did not do it quickly. Snap a pic and check out the spot where my dad buried the corpse. Get to the spot where my dad found the body. No sign of struggle. Okay, now I'm confused. Wat. All I saw were a few feathers. Situation around the killing is too unusual for it to have been one of the many eagles/hawks in the area. Plus, they never attack animals of this size. If it would have been a huge fox or some shit, it wouldn't have only targeted the face. A fox is the only animal in this part of the country where this shit would even be possible. Even then, it seems highly unlikely. What do you boys think it could have been? Here's the photo attached to the second part of the story, if you're interested. I don't know if I should censor it or not. I don't think I'm going to, but depending on which one you're seeing, I'll render to one that it's censored and one that it's not. And if it's not censored, then I guess I'm good, you know? But yeah, some people on the thread thought that it was people on drugs who did this, but OP responds saying that he doubts it because they don't have that. I guess like people who do drugs. Some others on the thread thought that it could have been a dog, and some even brought up the possibility of it being aliens, since things like this happen very commonly in South America. And then someone also asks if there's any cryptids in the area, and that's pretty much where this thread ends. It wasn't a big thread, so there's not much to it. Probably like 8 responses. But 8 months later, on March 29th, 2021, the same anon comes back with the post titled Danish Monster, Paranormal Advice Please. The first 2 parts are the same as the previous thread, and the same picture, but OP also starts off by saying that he didn't post this on a green text thread because it was pretty much dead and he just needs an explanation, and that these events have gotten from weird to scary. I as well will also skip the first 2 parts because I already read them, so I'll just start off with part 3. Shit's weird, but okay I guess. Fast forward a week or 2. Be sitting in the room, doing whatever, about 7 at night. Hear some very unsettling noises from the kitchen. I am a bit intimidated since the recent sheep killing. I get closer. It is my cat, and it is going fucking mental. Whilst it is making sad noises and is looking outside into the darkness, I can see fuck all. About a couple of seconds after I enter the line of sight of the window, my cat stops and jumps over to me. What the actual fuck? Fast forward to that night. Blood-curdling scream.mp3. Next day. Check on the sheep. Another one dead. Exact same pattern. Fast forward a month or two. 2 days ago. No new dead sheep. Sitting in my bed at night, reading about the geopolitical situations of Afghanistan. Quick info. My bed is pushed against my window, so my back is against the window, ground level, with no curtains. Always a bit paranoid because of the events a couple months ago. Tap. 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 Only God knows how fast I shat myself. Someone tapped on my fucking window. Don't have the balls to look around. Just praying to God that I remembered to lock the doors. Wait another 10 minutes or so before having the balls to turn around. Nothing there. Wait another hour. Processing what just happened, then fall asleep. And that is about it. Now before you say, Lamau, the sheep just died, and the birds ate the remains. I have seen my share of dead sheep in open fields, and let me tell you, the last things to go are always the ears. Birds don't eat the fucking ears. Something bigger wouldn't just straight up eat half its face and then fuck off. Besides, as I previously mentioned, nothing bigger than a fox or large predatory birds live in this area. Please tell me, am I overreacting? And that it isn't a cryptid or some shit. Here's the photo he attached to the third part. I'll keep it on screen for a bit. Important detail might be, the left half of both their necks are also completely rinsed. I have extra pictures if anyone wants them. This makes anons on the thread think of the many cases of documented cattle mutilations, particularly the fact that the mouth area and tongue are missing. They are traditionally linked to A's, which A's just means aliens, by the way. Anons on the thread do ask for more pictures, and well, OP actually posts more pictures about this. He comes back and says that his phone/device is really bad, and it's taken a while to format the photos, but he claims that he will get them working. Here are the photos. That's how OP uploaded it. I didn't put it as a collage, so yeah, I have no idea why he did this and just didn't upload them by themselves. I'll try to zoom in on the pictures and just move the camera around. We see how the dead sheep has no tongue, and that there's tracks of something. The OP assumes that it's the tracks of whatever killed the sheep. Someone makes comments saying that the track looks like rabbit tracks, and OP says that it's probably rabbits since they do have a lot of them in the area. The thread after this doesn't really die, but it's just nothing, I guess, of substance. In my opinion, at least. It's just people saying that it could have been animals, some saying that it could have been aliens, some even mentioned skinwalkers or something similar to skinwalkers in Denmark. And also, due to the tracks the OP posted, there were some jokes about a dwarf with a fat cock that killed his sheep and ate half their faces. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. I don't really know what to think of this. My bet is on aliens. Please, bro, I just want aliens to exist, bro. There's no way they don't exist. Anyways, on to the next thread, which Omar took care of this one.
The drone creep. On October 4th, 2020, so during the pandemic/lockdowns, an anon on poll posted the "Is this dude wearing a full face mask inside? What the fuck?" with a photo of a couple. Eris will blur the people in the photo for privacy reasons, but this photo does come back. I can only assume that OP is confused, due to all the talk about mask around the time, and wanted to make fun of him since he was inside. People in the thread are saying that it's just a moisturizing mask, but are obviously creeped out, calling out the OP for being a peeping Tom, with posts like, "Why are you taking photos inside some random dude's house? Record their reaction of you tapping on the glass and post it the GIF so we can lol." Then OP reveals this. It's her apartment. She's an Instagram influencer and I've been following her. After that, people on the thread are calling OP out for being a creep, or asking OP to keep updating. Here are some comments of people calling OP out. "You're standing on their porch taking pictures of them inside their home while they don't notice. OP, I think there might be more pressing issues than the guy's mask. This shit right here is why poll is scary. One day, there's just magically one outside the house snapping pictures from the darkness. I mean really, literally, what are you doing, dude?" I'm not sure if this is OP since the post ID is different, but someone posted a screenshot of her Instagram story saying, "No, she lives in a high-rise and I use a drone from several kilometers away." The screenshot of her story shows that there's a drone spying on her saying this. "The drone literally came outside my window and chilled there for a while. This can't be legal, right?" The thread goes on for a while. Nothing really interesting happens. but then Anon notices the reflection of the drone on the original image. And yeah, that's the thread. I assume that OP never came back because he kept being called a creep/weirdo. We don't ever find out the Instagram user, but that is probably for the best. The Anon who posted the Instagram screenshot ends up just thinking that this was a LARP. So in the end, we're left with a thread that's both unsettling and unresolved. Whether it was real or just an elaborate LARP, the idea of someone using a drone to spy on a stranger from miles away taps into a very modern kind of paranoia. Now to the third thread.
Childhood memory. So for this thread, I did try finding the original thread. I tried every archive site that I know of, and I just couldn't find it at all. I only have this screenshot of the thread someone made. I will say I found this on the Green Text archive site. That's just a site where a bunch of screenshots of 4chan stories are. There's a lot of X/horror stories on there, and there's a lot of NSFW stories on there as well. Yeah, I only really hop on there for the horror stories to see if I find any that I haven't done. So, yeah. On March 11th, 2016, an anon posts a story about his childhood.
Be 7 years old. Dad takes me and siblings to a new church that just opened up on Easter. Can't remember the church's name, but it was Presbyterian or a Baptist church. Church has a candy room. We are all given bags and told to go into the unlit, dark candy room, and we have 1 minute to grab as much candy as we want. No adults are allowed in the candy room. Only kids are. Walk into the candy room with siblings and other kids. Door is shut behind us. Hear the sound of some girl and boy screaming. See a door on the right open up, and someone in a bunny costume comes out and grabs one of the kids. Girl is screaming her lungs out. I'm trying to find where the hell the candy is and stuff it into my bag. Feeling up on a wall. I grab at something, but it won't come off the wall. It literally felt like a guy's member or a dodo. Door opens up at the end of the room and shines light inside the room, and me and my siblings walk out. All I had in my bag was a large chocolate Easter bunny. Dad never took us back to that church.
OP, after posting the story, also says this.
Happening in Fleming Island, Florida, at the Burian Baptist Church. I believe this was the one. But so many churches have gone up in the area, and it happened 20 years ago. I can't be sure.
OP then also adds this.
This was the church. Guess it's for sale now. Then also a link of the sales page. That used to be the exact location where the church was.
I remember the lakefront of it. He also posts more photos of the church. Then I assume another user posts about how possible this story could have been, with a link to a news article of a scandal that the church had. In 2021, Greg Neal, a co-pastor of the Burian Baptist Church and Fleming Island, secretly filmed 2 women undressing in his church office using a hidden camcorder. The tape/footage was hidden until 2002 until a church staffer named Brent Bartlett discovered it among basketball tapes. He brought it to Tom Neal, Greg's father, and the senior pastor. The senior pastor told him the matter would be dealt with in an appropriate manner. Greg Neal begged Bartlett, but not the women he secretly recorded, for forgiveness. When rumors began to circulate, Pastor Tom told his congregation the tapes did not exist. They also kicked Brent out of the church. Church officials dismissed the entire incident as a hoax, claiming that it was an attack by evildoers, working under the influence of the devil to bring down their ministry. But in August 2011, the state released a censored version of the tape to protect the victims' identities. Greg Neal denied everything. He claimed he had no knowledge of the recording and insisted that he wasn't involved. But the footage told a different story. Back in the spring of 2001, Neal had a hidden camcorder behind a plant in his office, aiming it to capture a woman undressing. The tape clearly showed him setting up the camera, leaving the room. Shortly after, women entered to try on choir robes. The tape clearly showed him later returning to retrieve it. Years later, in April 2011, former deacon William Cochran sent a letter about the incident to church members. Around the same time, Marcus Smith, a longtime friend of Greg Neal, filed a formal video voyeurism complaint with the Clay County Sheriff's Office. Assistant State Attorney James Colaw reviewed the case and stated, "The evidence of Neal's crimes of voyeurism is overwhelming. Unfortunately, the statute of limitations has expired." From my quick Google search, the statute of limitations in Florida is 2 to 5 years, so the church nearly lost its Fleming Island property due to a $6.5 million bankruptcy in mid-2010, but instead merged with the Emmanuel Baptist Church and relocated into a windowless building in Jacksonville's west side. In 2019, the church also grew another controversy when associate pastor Cameron Giovanelli, hired by Greg, pleaded guilty to sexually abusing a minor in Maryland from 2007. Yeah, I nearly forgot that this was a 4chan video. I'm not sure if the OP is actually telling a true story. It could have been that he knew about the scandal before posting it on 4chan and decided to post a story that sounded pretty believable. You know what the 4chan saying is.
The stories and information posted here are artistic works of fiction and falsehood. Only a fool would take anything posted here as fact.
Let me know what you think about these threads. Do you believe any of these are real? The first story about the sheep is really interesting, at least to me, because I want to believe aliens are real, and I also want to say that aliens caused this, especially if it's like anywhere in Denmark where there's no one else besides the family. It could have been aliens. I'm not saying it is, I just want to believe. Second story, shout out to Omar. I mean, it's there, but some people on the thread were saying that the guy in the picture was the one controlling the drone. Not sure, but I mean, if it wasn't real, it's scary to think about. But I really don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below, as my friends usually say. I guess this is the outro, right? I'm Aris, one half of the Horror Highway. Shout out Omar. I made him put a gun to his head, made him do the second entry, so shout out to him. I don't know what else to say. Type in light if you made it this far. Light as in, like a light bulb, I was gonna add like the gas mask post where the anon gases himself, but someone had already did that recently and I didn't want to just do it again. There was also the one with the AI demon thread that has popped up recently. I've seen 3 videos of it already, so it's pretty big. I'll probably have that on the 4chan iceberg, or the next part we do. Let me see, bro, because I'm not too sure. Also, do you guys mind if I cover topics from 4chan that have been covered already? I know we do some of those on the 4chan iceberg, but more in-depth videos, if that makes sense, because we usually try to find more unknown threads, and I don't know if we should do the more known ones as well, Yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. It helps us out on the algorithm. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye.